Well, hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Just getting my camera adjusted here. What's going on, everybody? What is up? Well, welcome to another episode of Live with the CHOQTOR. I am your resident doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, Dr. Matt Dorsey. Let's see if we see some familiar faces today. Let's see. Marius, I think I've heard you. Maybe been here before. Yeah, Will, not sure. Got a few folks already. I'm sure we'll have quite a few more here in a second. So yeah, say howdy in the chat really fast, and feel free to fire away if you guys have any questions for me. How's everybody's Monday going so far? You guys managing to keep it real, as they say? Yeah, fire away. Also, let's check GreenMed info here and see if we've got anything interesting going on. Anything interesting in the news? I wonder in the natural health world. I did hear actually a little public service announcement. I did hear that the new Apple, like the iPhone operating system, iOS 15, might be pretty bad from a security standpoint. So if you're a fan of having your phone not hacked, then you might not want to upgrade. Just a little PSA for you guys. What is the next supplement coming out? You're taking all 8. Well, first of all, congratulations, Will, on taking all 8 of them. That's awesome. So the next supplement that's coming out is actually going to be the new version of Apex Glutathione. This guy right here. Apex is, you may or may not know, perhaps you're already familiar, but yeah, we did have to remove the NAC, so the new version will not have NAC, but it will have organic milk thistle, and it actually will have a XXX bioavailability ginkgo biloba. It's a ginkgo phytosome that comes from the same company who makes the grapeseed extract that's in our Action 2.0, and also who makes the 20x absorption quercetin phytosome that's in CHOQ Armor. So Apex, in a couple of months here, we'll have Apex back online. And we are working on another consumable product, a food type product that will be something you can drink. And we don't have an ETA on that yet, but hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have that out as well. So yeah. All right. But yeah, just to answer your question, Marius, in case you didn't hear this now, approximately 2 months for Apex is our goal. Yeah. Well, what else is new? I'm also, by the way, just so you guys know, I'm experimenting with different time zones. So, I would like to have a more regular slot. I'm just trying out different times of the day, trying to see how everybody responds. So, if any of y'all have preferences, if this is a better time for you, or if, for some of you guys, if you prefer earlier, just like to figure out a good time slot for these that works best for everybody. Yeah. So let's see here. Somebody's asking about sea moss. What was your question about the Irish moss? Did you want to know something specifically about it? Yeah. So here's an interesting one on GreenMed info. Human hair as an antenna and transmitter of energy and information. Have you guys heard of this? Yeah. Hair as a transmitter. I mean, it's kind of like it certainly does seem like an antenna, and it is on your head. Does this ring a bell for you guys? You ever heard of this concept? Yeah, fascinating. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that your hair could transmit information, or perhaps pick up on information? An antenna or a transmitter? Or is that just like completely ridiculous? Sure would be fantastic if we figured that out. I do feel like one thing that's going to be really interesting to see, hopefully within our lifetimes, is science finally figuring out more about how the human energy field works, right? Because I think, probably a lot of you guys, if you're into CHOQ, you appreciate things like chakras, meridians. Obviously, I'm a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, so that makes me an acupuncturist, right? Basically makes me a Taoist in a sense, so I'm all about the meridians and acupoints and all that. And of course, definitely have a great appreciation for the Ayurvedic system as well that deals with chakras. A lot of people like to take our Shilajit because there is the belief within that system, according to some, that it helps to open the third eye, right? And obviously, we don't have any clinical research on the third eye, which many people link to the pineal gland. But yeah, within that particular system, Shilajit is used for, kind of raise your consciousness in a sense. But yeah, so, it is interesting though, because you hear a lot thrown around about the pineal gland and what it does or doesn't do. Descartes thought it was the seat of the soul. And of course, you hear about how maybe fluoride negatively affects it. Do we actually know that for sure? We don't know that for sure on a scientific level. It may or may not be true. In terms of actual scientific research, just to let y'all know, the only research I've seen that suggests that fluoride could do that, and if, by the way, if any of you guys have specific research on this, on fluoride and the pineal gland, legitimate research, I would love for you to share the paper with me. That would be fantastic. But I did see a paper a while back that actually showed pineal gland calcification measured by CT scan. So they were basically scanning the brain. You could see when the pineal gland is calcified because it'll show up differently, right? But all they were doing was comparing in different countries. And so, obviously it's not cause and effect, it's just a correlation thing. But United States compared with, I think they were comparing with some Middle Eastern countries. And the United States, there were higher levels. And it was suggested in this particular research document, this paper, that, we certainly do have quite a bit more fluoridation here in the US. So that could be the reason, but they weren't really sure. But yeah, if you guys find any research on that, any cool papers, I would love to take a look at it and we could discuss for sure. But yeah, what do you guys know about the pineal gland? What do y'all know? I'm curious, what your level of knowledge is. I'll tell you what I know. And maybe, this is something we talk about fairly regularly. I feel like I've mentioned it at least 5 or 6 times on different videos, but we do know for sure, absolutely, on a scientific level, there's no question, it is sensitive to electromagnetic fields. It is a magnetoreceptor organ. So, magnetoreceptor. That is the term for it, right? So, yeah, let's just see here. So what happens if we type that into the search engine here? This is interesting. Morphodynamic reactive response of the pineal gland. Very cool. Yeah. So, but long story short, without going off on too much of a tangent, what we know for sure is that you can affect the pineal gland with anything that generates electromagnetic fields, which is like everything now, right? So the closer something like this is to your head, right, the more that it could potentially be interfered with. We don't know for sure, but there is. I did see a study mentioned that showed that if you're on your phone more before bed, like just talking on the phone, not even looking at it, just talking, that can interrupt your sleep. So that could be one reason, because obviously you guys know that the pineal gland secretes melatonin, I'm sure, right? And obviously your circadian rhythm, your sleep is not going to quite be right if your pineal gland is not functioning, right? But of course, it does so much more. There's on the other end of the spectrum, there's the neurotransmitter called dimethyltryptamine, also known as DMT, right? So many people think of it as a drug, but it is actually a neurohormone or neurotransmitter produced by your pineal gland. It can be produced at other sites in the body as well. So, and yes, it is one of your body's natural consciousness expanding molecules. Interesting thing about endogenous DMT is, we don't know that much about it. There's not that much research on it. When they figured out that people's bodies manufacture DMT a long time ago, the first theory was, it must be maybe that's what's happening with schizophrenics, right? If you're hallucinating, if you have schizophrenia, it's got to be that your brain, because they're always trying to explain everything just based on this simple model of too much or too little of a neurotransmitter, right? But they're like, okay, so it's got to be that the reason the schizophrenics are schizophrenic is because there's this endogenous hallucinogen called DMT, and clearly they must have too much in their brains, right? And so, they did find some people with schizophrenia that did have more DMT in their brains, right? But it was pretty inconclusive as far as I know. The interesting thing is, though, in a small quantity, it is not actually a psychedelic compound. It actually is calming. It calms the nervous system down. And so in this paper, it was suggesting that this slight increase in endogenous dimethyltryptamine synthesis in the schizophrenic patients could be that the brain was trying to calm itself down. So think about, from an herbal standpoint, if you're supporting your pineal gland, let's say, and again, we don't really know for sure on a scientific level which herbs actually do this because we don't have the hardcore research. But if we go based off of the ancient model of like Ayurveda, for example, so something like Shilajit, or an herb like holy basil, right? Holy basil, which I can virtually guarantee I'm going to use organic holy basil in future CHOQ products. It's such a fantastic herb. Everybody knows holy basil because it's great for cortisol, right? Very calming. But it's revered as a holy plant in India. It's very common for different families, Hindu families, to have a holy basil plant in the house, and it is seen as a divine plant. Anyway, so it can be used before meditation to open the third eye, and it's interesting though to think that, could it be that in the future we might find that certain normal everyday herbs like holy basil or something, they might actually slightly dial up that synthesis of dimethyltryptamine or some other similar type tryptamine family, type molecules, where it's not enough to actually put somebody into some sort of a crazy, psychedelic state, but it's very subtly consciousness expanding and also calming, right? So just kind of interesting food for thought there, It is pretty hard to study these things, and I'll let y'all know, so as somebody who's pretty deep into psychopharmacology, there are limitations on how you can actually study this stuff. So for example, if you want to study if the brain is making something or not, if you really wanted to know 100%, you'd have to open somebody's brain up, right? And so unfortunately, they do that with rats. Of course, they have to kill the rat, and then they just, put the rat's brain in a machine and they isolate all the compounds out. And which is pretty horrendous what we do to rats. I always have to make that disclaimer because it's pretty awful. But for humans, we have no way of doing that, right? So we have to go based off of different metabolites and things like that. Anyway, somebody's asking about fun facts about chakras. Yeah, I mean, if you guys tell me a certain chakra you want to know about, maybe so for example, Iswana, do you have a chakra that you're working on that you think might be out of balance? We could talk about maybe what systems in the body that links to. We could go more deeply into that chakra. If there's a particular one, obviously we were talking about third eye already. We can go more into that. And again, I'm not an Ayurvedic practitioner, but I am pretty deep into this stuff. So I know more than the average person by far. Yeah, which chakras do you think are some of the ones that might be needing to be worked on by you? The middle one. Well, so the third from the bottom is the solar plexus chakra. Yeah. And here, I'm going to do a little cheat sheet here. By the way, for those of y'all who don't know, we will be doing some prize giveaways here in a second. A lot of you guys are familiar. So, but yeah, so make sure you stick around for that. So solar plexus chakra. Yeah. So your solar plexus, is going to be, let's see if I can just tilt the camera down here, right around here or so, right? So in between your belly button and your sternum, right? Kind of this, just a little bit below the sternum. And it's, according to my memory, and also I'm going to use this website here as a reference, but it does have to do with your will. This one claims it has to do with basically deciding between following sort of the will of your higher soul, your higher self in a sense, or your lower. It's a bridge between, between the first two chakras and the rest. It's in between the two, and the first two chakras had to do with more earthly type things, obviously, like survival and sex and, things like that. But it also has to do with speaking your truth. I mean, of course, obviously, so does the throat chakra especially, but this has to do with, there's a connection to things like authenticity and also I think motivation, if I'm recalling correctly. Again, so physiological function of the solar plexus chakra, to energize the gastrointestinal system. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's right over your intestines. It's right in here, right? Over your stomach and intestines. Layered kind of all throughout that area in the abdomen. And you could think also potentially if you're the kind of person, let's just say, who tends to have a really strong mind-gut connection, because everybody has a mind-gut connection, right? I mean, obviously, we have tons of nerve endings in the digestive system, in the GI tract, and stress affects our digestion, no matter who you are. But a lot of people, I'm one of them, have a pretty sensitive digestive system, and it can definitely be affected by mood more. And then you can also, like, the state of your digestive system will also affect your mood more than the average person. I would think that potentially if you're one of those people, that it might very well be possible that the solar plexus chakra would be an area where you might want to look more into, because again, it's located right over there. So let's see, what else is interesting about the solar plexus chakra? Manipura is the Sanskrit name for it. Let's see. All right. It says that people who are violent have excessive energy in their solar plexus chakra. That's interesting. It also, here's the connection to Chinese medicine. It actually has a lot of overlap with the liver, and the liver is anger. If you have excess qi in your liver, you have what's called a hot or stagnant liver in Chinese medicine, then you'd be more prone to anger and irritability and outbursts and things like that. But it also is linked to things like motivation and getting stuff done. So, a lot of overlap with the solar plexus chakra there. Yeah. What is your stack, says Levi? Well, to answer your question, I pretty much take, most all the CHOQ products personally. I don't always take the Irish moss as much, and then the Seven Wonders kind of sometimes here and there. They're great, but pretty much everything else in the stack I do. Looking forward to when we get the new Apex out, because and by the way, just to let y'all know, so my intent with the Apex, so we don't have a full-on nootropic yet that's like just for all like memory focus, even though a lot of our stuff does help with this. We will have one, and I am working on a formula for that. But until that happens, the new version of Apex is going to be really good for focus, because of that ginkgo in there, but I also put more B6 as well. So it's any stack where you add Apex in, the focus aspect will be dialed up significantly. So to answer your question, Levi, that's my stack. I don't take every single product every day. I'm kind of intuitive about it. There are some days when I'll kind of reduce a little bit. CHOQ products are pretty energizing. So if I'm already feeling really good energy and I pretty good, like I might skip a couple days here and there. And also with adaptogens, it is good. You can take a couple days off a month, or every few months you can take a couple weeks off, something like that. Sometimes that helps your body appreciate it more, So, and Mr. Nick, I see you mentioned airplane mode. Yeah, great. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, so if there's anybody here who isn't putting their phone on airplane mode before you go to sleep, please make sure you're doing that. You don't want your phone blasting your body and your pineal gland with electromagnetic radiation while you're trying to sleep. Definitely not a good idea. Do everything you can to protect yourself. Also, so again, are we scientifically sure that this is real? I don't know, but many people do believe that shungite, here's a shungite star tetrahedron, Merkaba shape. Shungite is excellent for mitigating the effects of EMFs. So I actually like to hold this in my hand as I'm falling asleep or meditating before falling asleep sometimes. But this is a really cool shungite Merkaba right here. And here's another. I like to have a lot of shungite on my desk since I have like tons of electronics here. I've got like phone and a computer and iPad and speakers. But yeah, here's a shungite elephant that somebody gave me as a birthday present a while ago. It's pretty cool. Here, let me see if I can get the camera to put it in focus. Maybe not, but yeah. This is a fun little fun little Shungite statue here. But yeah, so Shungite's a great idea. Of course, there's also Orgonite. Orgonite is excellent. Let's see here. Yeah, I actually used to make Orgonite. Here's a pendant that I made a long time ago. It's got a 3D printed design on it here. Yeah, the focus doesn't seem to be working as well today. But yeah, so Shungite is great too. Sorry, Orgonite is great too. Having more of those stones around you, not a bad idea. Of course, I've also got my Himalayan salt lab over here as well. So yeah, do whatever you can to mitigate your EMF exposure. I don't know if you guys saw, but a while back, California actually issued, I think one of the only governments I've ever heard anywhere that actually issued a warning against the use of, excessive use of computers and tablets and phones in children, and recommending significantly limiting children's exposure to certain electronics. So kind of cool, that at least somebody's talking about that. Yeah. But let's see what else we got. So Levi says, I'm not taking ashwagandha with daily inaction at the same time. I like the calm effect plus energy. You're not taking, or do you mean maybe you are now taking? Yeah. So ashwagandha daily in action, that's a fantastic combo. Yeah. So if you're doing like the daily action right now, like these two, definitely highly suggest that you stack it with the ashwagandha. And so, yeah, Levi, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So then you get that calm Zen-like focus, while at the same time still like boosting the overall testosterone boosting effects of the stack. But yeah, the calm focus, and then also the cortisol reduction. And then if you want to take it to even the next level, then you throw your Tomcat on there, and then it's just like out of control in a really good way. Hey there, BMez. How's it going? Oh, cool. From Australia. Very cool. Yeah. How are things down under? Are things copacetic in your country? I've heard a few things, but don't know. What else we got here? Yeah. So EMFs. Oh, by the way, yeah, here's another public service announcement. Have you guys heard of this Pegasus thing? And again, I don't know about the solutions here, but I think I showed this the other day. Spyware, this huge spyware thing going on. I don't know if that relates to what's going on with iOS 15 or what, but yeah, sometimes I'm wary to upgrade to the new, I have an iPhone, but to upgrade to the new operating system right off the bat. I didn't used to be, but now I'm like, yeah. And I'm glad I haven't done that yet, because apparently somebody found some pretty major problems with it. So if you're thinking about, throwing the new one on your phone, if you have an iPhone, probably wait. Have you heard of the Somavec apps? They say they reduce EMF radiation, positive effects on cardiovascular and nervous system. Interesting. Very cool. Nice. Yeah, no, I haven't actually heard of that. I have not. Which blog do I want to plug right now? Let's see. Anybody reading any of our blog articles recently? Actually, our guy Jonathan just posted a new one. So here, let me just link that to you guys really fast. This one just dropped. I haven't even gotten a chance to read it yet. But Jonathan's awesome. He writes really cool blogs. This one is on nitric oxide. So I don't know if you guys know about nitric oxide, but one of the main things that action does is it works on nitric oxide. And I'll tell you guys why you want nitric oxide here in a second. But also, Shilajit certainly does work on nitric oxide as well. So, yeah. Yeah, nitric oxide. It's a compound your body makes. It's a very, very small little molecule. It's literally just two atoms. It's one nitrogen, one oxygen. That's it. That's the whole molecule. It's so tiny. It's such a small molecule that it can go right through your cells. It's actually a gas in your body. So if you can imagine this, your body creates this like neurotransmitter / hormone type of molecule. And it's so small that it just dissolves through your body, and it can go straight through the cell membrane and just go right into the cell. Nitric oxide, one of the main things it does is it helps to support healthy blood flow, make sure that your blood vessels are allowing a healthy amount of blood through. And obviously that's so important for a number of reasons. One of the reasons that Action 2.0 has the ability to actually boost mental performance as well as physical performance is because blood flow to the brain. Nitric oxide helps blood flow to the brain, but obviously really important for cardiovascular support. Action is great for cardio stuff. And of course, also immune system. So a lot of people don't know nitric oxide is essential for the immune system, actually. And in fact, they're even working on a product that helps. It's a liquid that releases nitric oxide into your nose to help support the immune system inside the nasal passages. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty important stuff, especially if you're the kind of person who wants to support your heart health. Definitely something to know about. Yeah. Actually, he wrote another one on nitric oxide too. I'll go ahead and post it for you guys if you want to check that one out as well. And but yeah, let's see what else here. Yeah, I was going through and I posted a video actually just now. Let me find that one for you guys. One that I posted today to YouTube that was an Instagram I did a while back. Back when we, still had an Instagram, right? And it was actually about here. I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it right here in the chat. So this video, it's called "How Arguing Online Hurts Us," and it's actually based on a blog I did before called "The Divisive Virus," the virus that divides us, basically. Not talking about a real virus. I'm just talking about a virus of the mind. Because obviously, there's a lot of talk. Everybody's talking about, the main one that's going around that's shutting the world down. But there's also obviously there's computer viruses too, right? And then there's the one that I think that y'all would appreciate a lot. There are viruses of the mind. There are negative beliefs, and there are tendencies, and there are memes, and all sorts of things that can get into your consciousness and change the way you think and feel and behave. Here's that blog right there. Yeah, the virus of divisiveness. So basically, the last year and a half, it's been pretty insane, right? Everybody's just arguing constantly. And it's all about like, what team are you on? Let's split into these different teams, these different camps, And we've got, I know somebody who lost a bunch of her friends over, just stupid stuff having to do with, pandemic and all that. And the V word, I'm not allowed to say, not in mainstream land, right? But yeah, just people arguing over stuff, and it's just, splitting up friends and family. It's just crazy. And one thing I go into in this article is that our use of social media, not to say all social media is good or bad, but certainly social media tends to, especially Facebook, really tends to show you things that shock you and make you angry and enraged in order to get you to stay on there. That's done on purpose, They call that limbic hijacking, also known as amygdala hijacking. So yeah, here's an article on that too. Amygdala hijacking. So basically, structures in your brain that can become active whenever you're whenever you're given some signal of, like being upset or outraged, and that part of your brain will take over, and all of a sudden, you can do things that you normally wouldn't do. So if you've ever, like, for example, seen somebody post something on Facebook, and then you're like, just kind of in a mood, and it sets you off, and then you leave a long, like, really snarky comment, and then like 20 minutes later, you look at the comment, you're like, I should probably delete that. Yikes. Well, something like that was happening, what they call limbic hijacking. That part of your brain just took you over all of a sudden and made you do something kind of dumb, and we're humans. It happens. That's just part of being human, So, yeah, but let's see, you guys got any other interesting questions? Yeah. What do you guys think about the whole 5G thing? Honestly, I haven't researched it as much as I could. It is a little scary. I know that we sure don't have the safety research that we need on any of this stuff. So I really think a lot of this technology is probably guilty until proven innocent. There was here, let me post this for you guys too. Have you guys ever heard of this book? It's called The Non-Tinfoil Guide to EMFs. This is a pretty cool one. I've talked about it a couple times before. Let me post it right here. So, and of course, this guy, the guy who wrote it, he called it the non-tinfoil guide. Really is sort of a way of saying, oh, apparently that link's too long. Well, let me post it. The reason he called it that is because, you know, he tried to only refer to things that were completely science-based and not speculate whatsoever, right? And, you know, nothing wrong with speculation as long as you tell people that that's what you're doing. But anyway, I haven't read the whole book. I read part of it. I need to come back to it. But one thing I learned from it, the way that they measure whether or not, you know, a product like a cell phone is safe, for example, they have this fake like rubber head that's filled with water, right? And then they hold the cell phone up to it. And as long as the water isn't raised by more than like 1 or 2 degrees from the microwaves from the cell phone, then it's considered safe. And this is something that was created in like the 1980s. And the head is the size of like a 6'2" man who's like a large dude. And it's like pretty ancient, Stone Age, not even very scientific at all. It's literally just like a fake head filled with water and a thermometer. And that's the whole thing. And apparently that's still the test that they use, according to the guy who wrote this book, right? So obviously the companies putting out this tech want the way that we measure its safety to be as ancient and unsophisticated as possible. Because if we actually applied more modern techniques to measure the safety, pretty sure we'd be really pissed and we'd be freaking out, right? Most likely. But anyway, that is a really awesome resource, that book right there. So non-tinfoilemf.com. I feel comfortable recommending that for sure. Yeah. Somavec Lamps. Cool. Yeah, let's take a look. Somavec Lamps. Vedic lamps. What we got? I'm curious. The ultimate EMF mitigation device. Okay. Interesting. Coherent field, covers 2,800 square feet. How much do these babies cost? Let's see here. All right. View model. So, Mr. R, you have one? What do you think of yours? Tell me if you what results have you gotten? So this one is $487. This is like the smaller one, so they are not cheap for sure. But hey, if they're worth it, that's cool. Yeah. I would love to see some of the science on it. Yeah. I certainly do have tons of orgonite, like a lot of orgonite, as well as a lot of shungite in my apartment. But yeah, wouldn't hurt to have something a little extra, you know. Well, you know, it might be about time for me to whip out my random number generator here and give away some products. How about that? Let's do it. And we only got about 13 people today, so y'all's odds are pretty good compared to the 25 we had the other day. All right, so here we go. Go. And by go, if y'all haven't been here, some of y'all haven't been here before, type in a number between 1 and 100 in the chat, just one entry only, and then whoever's closest to the number from the random number generator will win any CHOQ product, one of any CHOQ products. So, and again, just one entry, and try to get them in as quickly as you can, so that we don't have to wait for a super long time. Right, going once, going twice, and okay, the number is 43. So it looks like Kathy, you are the winner because you guessed 44 and the number was 43. Congratulations, Kathy. Very cool. Nice. All right. You guys want to give Kathy a little round of applause there? Yeah. Great job, Kathy. Great job. Yeah. So, so Kathy, what you want to do is you want to email CHOQ at CHOQ.com and say, Dr. Matt says that I won prize number one. And again, prize number one, Kathy, is just any CHOQ product. So feel free to pick whatever you like. Just one of anything. So it could be Shilajit, Tomcat, something a little more pricey like Armor, whatever you want. Congratulations. Yeah. Mr. R, you're slipping, man. No, I'm just kidding. If some of y'all who don't know, Mr. R must take a lot of Shilajit because he's psychic enough where he's won 3 times already. We've only been doing this for what? This is episode 10, so I'm sure you'll win a 4th time at some point because you're on every one of these, and so you're pretty much our biggest fan, our YouTube biggest fan. So stick around though, everybody. In just a little bit, we will do prize number 2, which for those of you guys who don't know, prize number 2 is one of these organic cotton CHOQ t-shirts, and then also a bag of the cacao beans. Yes, delicious organic heirloom cacao beans. So, but yeah, what else is new? Let's see what else is going on Green Med Info. Do you guys follow Dr. Mercola, by the way? It's kind of crazy. He's like, I heard that he and the other disinformation dozen are all getting sued by somebody. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of these articles are on a particular topic that I can't talk about. But yeah, Mr. R, you're liking the Telegram group? Yeah, it seems like it's gotten pretty popular. Got like, 7,000 people in there? So, yeah. So let's see. Yeah, just about all these articles have to do with the V word. Oh, man. Yeah. It's almost a relief that I can't talk about that, because if I could, then it would just stress me out. So, but yeah, pretty much almost nothing on here is actually, oh man. But yeah, hey, what's up? Stay boosted. How goes it? Doing all right. Yeah. Yeah. And also technically I am not an MD because I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a DACM, Doctor of Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine. But I am an MD only in the sense that my initials are Matt Dorsey. And it is kind of funny because people have called me MD for a while, just referring to my name, Matt Dorsey. And it is funny that I ended up getting a medical doctorate. Let's see, Mr. Nick. Well, thanks for plugging me. I appreciate that, Mr. Nick. Very cool. All right. Yeah, totally. Thanks, Stay Boosted. By the way, if y'all don't watch Stay Boosted already, definitely check him out. His stuff's awesome. Got a good thing going on over there. You need to watch some more of your videos, man. They are pretty fantastic. You guys got any questions for me? Fire away. Do you want to know about herbs? Do you want to know about chakras? Do you want to know about Chinese medicine, acupuncture? What do you got? Throw something at me. Detoxification between what Shilajit offers and 7 Wonders. Yeah, sure. So I would say that probably Shilajit might be they're kind of different. I would say that Shilajit is going to be stronger for detoxification because of the fulvic acid. Not every mushroom in the 7 Wonders is going to be good for detox, but certainly probably I would say that the chaga, for sure, like the chaga and the reishi, and the cordyceps, so yeah. I think the 7 Wonders though is going to be a little bit stronger for immune system. That's really where a lot of those mushrooms shine, is immune function. But obviously the Shilajit, does way more than just detoxification, obviously, brain function, and mitochondrial energy support, testosterone, nitric oxide, all that stuff. So, but yeah, I would say just take both for sure. But yeah, I would say, in my mind, Shilajit is probably going to be a little bit stronger for detox than 7 Wonders. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. What do I think about Chlorella? I'm not super into Chlorella. I actually am. I kind of do really enjoy the medical mediums material. I used it for myself. I use it for clients that I coach, do health coaching with. and his protocols are amazing. I tend to trust some of his material. He does say that chlorella is maybe not ideal because it can pick up and drop metals in the body and not shuttle them out of the body, perhaps. Now, do we have any science to prove that? No. So, who knows? But as far as, sea vegetables that do help to boost elimination of heavy metals, though, spirulina and dulse are recommended for that. Yeah. So I do love spirulina. I have to say, though, my stomach doesn't always like spirulina, and neither do my taste buds. Spirulina is it's a little bit gross. So Will says, yeah, so let's do a quick little poll, and we should probably do a poll in our Telegram too. That'd probably be the best. But let's do a poll right now. Tell me in the chat, do you guys prefer earlier in the day or later in the day? Would you prefer closer to 2 or 3, sometime between 3 and 5, sometime between 5 and 7? Right now, I'm experimenting to see how people respond. So far, I think it was the one that we did on that was closer to 5 or 6 that have gotten the most, I believe, but I'll have to check it out. So Mr. R says earlier, as Juan says earlier. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, earlier actually works better for me anyway. I'm really just experimenting now to see what happens. So yeah, it's kind of where we're at with all that. Just trying to feel it out there. So it's almost 2 a.m. in the UK. Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, if earlier worked better for you guys, that's way better for me. So that's a win-win situation. I'm going to definitely do a poll in our Telegram sometime soon, so that we can, get a large turnout of people and find out about that. But thanks for letting me know. That's awesome. Appreciate that. Very cool. Well, yeah, maybe it's time. I think it is. It's time for prize number 2. Let's do it. So again, prize number 2, like I said, it is a T-shirt and some of the cacao beans. And once again, you know the drill. Give me just one entry only, a 2-digit number, anything between 1 and 100. Try to open your third eye, dilate that pineal gland. We can't really dilate the pineal gland, but and see. And you know what? I'll try to guess one too because I haven't generated the number yet. I'm going to guess 17. I don't know why. All right, let's see what it is. 93. I was totally wrong. 93. Who's closest to 93? So it's going to be whoever's highest. Looks like Kara, right? Yeah, Kara, you win. Kara is the winner. Great job, Kara. Everybody give Kara a round of applause. All right. Yeah. We should just have a CHOQ game show. Just straight up game show. I should have an assistant, microphone, suit, the whole 9 yards. That'd be great. Maybe one of these days, we'll just do herb trivia. We'll have a wheel you can spin, just the whole 9 yards. Anyway, so Kara, you won prize number 2. So email CHOQ@CHOQ.com. Say I won prize number 2, hanging out with Dr. Matt on YouTube. And might want to, before you email in, just go check out the T-shirts, see which style you like, see which color you like and all that and size, and just tell them which one you want, and you'll get your cacao beans and your shirt in the mail. So congratulations, Kara. Very cool. Will says, will you add a bigger dose of lion's mane for no choke stuff? Absolutely, 100%. I can virtually guarantee you. And I am working on the formula, and the formula, it does contain lion's mane. Absolutely. Yeah. Cause we love mushrooms at CHOQ just as much as we love herbs. And so yes, it will contain organic lion's mane extract, either an 8-to-1 or a 10-to-1 potency extract is what I have already selected for that formula. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what's going to come out because we have sort of a launch schedule and we have, so got to figure all that out. But yeah, I would be shocked if it weren't in there, but that is the intent, is to have it in there right now. Absolutely. Yeah. Lion's mane is fantastic. It's great stuff. They say that lion's mane boosts something called nerve growth factor. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. Does that sound like something familiar to you guys? Nerve growth factor. Yeah. Here, let me just. I'll post to the right here. So nerve growth factor. It's something that your body creates to help to boost nerve growth. Right. It also has to do with enhancing their survival, and it is claimed that that is one of the functions of lion's mane, or one of the ways it functions in the body is that it helps your body secrete this nerve growth factor to then support healthy neuron growth and maintenance. So yeah, lion's mane is really cool stuff. Yeah. Well, real quick before I head out, make sure you guys if you can, just let everybody know, anybody who was on our Instagram, anybody who's a CHOQ fan, that we're doing these every weekday. I always schedule the next one right after, so I'll have it scheduled within 20 minutes after I get off. So let's I'll probably do the next one for tomorrow there during the afternoon sometime. But yeah, so also here, let me share a link with you. This link right here, bit.ly/CHOQTOR. That is a permanent link. And what I do is every time I schedule a new video, I then will associate it with that link, that bit.ly/CHOQTOR link I just posted. And so all you have to do is just click on that link, save the link, click on it, and it'll immediately take you to whatever the next YouTube is. And it'll have the schedule and it'll have a countdown of like how long until it is. You can go on YouTube and you can actually click on like remind me basically. So yeah. And of course, if you do that, you can always like it even before you watch it, because every like helps us, So make sure you like this video. Also share it with your friends. Make sure you're subscribed to the CHOQ Nation YouTube. If you also join us on Telegram if you're into that world, if that's your thing. So yeah. So probably I'm guessing sometime between 2 and 4 o'clock p.m. tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, it'll be scheduled very shortly here. So use that link in just a little bit, and it'll bring you to the next video. So awesome. All right. Well, thanks for being here, guys. It was fun as always. Sure, I'll see a lot of you guys tomorrow. And until then, stay human.